Hi guys, I'm here at the University of Westminster and I'm trying to call the Information Commissioner office, but it's always nobody answers the phone, so that's I will try again. Anyway, the Information Commissioner office practically is an organization that control a kind of control of the freedom of information request, and the data protection act request, etc. So if when somebody does make a request to an organization, government organization or non-government organization, where not a private organization, because the private organization you cannot ask a FOIA request, no? So practically, in January I started a large inquiry about a university in England, about funds, almost more than 50 universities, and I received a letter. I will show because I don't have here the details. I received lots of information. Many universities responded successful, some responded just partially, but there were some that they completely refused any information based on claiming that there was some exemption. So that in case, because of course there is a kind of regulation about the freedom information request, and of course organizations have to comply the law, so that for example extension of time, practically for a non-government organization it's almost 18 hours of research in time that they need. If it exceeds or it costs more than £450, then they claim for an exemption, so they don't have to respond. But they have to prove that they did research and how they did that. If organizations don't give this kind of information, they don't prove that they did the research and of the claim that they did do, you have the right, first you have to step, no? First, the first step is to ask for an internal review on the same organization, for example, on my case, to the university. If they don't respond to the further request for the internal review, you have the right to contact the Information Commissioner and ask them to interview and to start an inquiry about the organization. They will contact them and they will ask directly, because it's a kind of that the information officer is a kind of government organization that is practically they have an authority to ask and to inquire other organization about if they adapt to the law. If they don't adapt to the law, there could be an order that the case could go to court, etc., or the Information Commissioner officer could write that organization on their annual report, and which means that is a very bad image for that organization, because they don't, it shows that they don't adapt to the law. So that is and so now I'm trying to contact the number of the Information Commission officer. It's for on my case it's 0303 123 1113. So I try to call them. If I hope that
Welcome to the Information Commissioner's office. If you wish to use our Welsh language service, please press 9. Alternatively, please hold to hear the options.
So I pressed the...
If you know the extension number of the person you wish to speak to, please press 1. If you are calling to register under the Data Protection Act, renew your registration or discuss registration, please press 2. If you are calling from an organisation to report a security breach that has occurred or may have occurred, please press 3. If you are calling from a small organisation and have a question about preparing for the GDPR or about complying with any other legislation we deal with, please press 4. If you are calling from any other organisation or you are a private individual and you would like advice about the legislation we deal with, including the GDPR, please press 5. If you are a whistleblower, that is, you have a complaint about your employer.
Let's see how long they take to respond is. I was waiting almost 5 minutes before. Now we'll see how long it takes.
We are sorry about your wait. We are receiving large volumes of calls to our helpline. Please continue to hold and we'll be with you as soon as possible. If you're calling about a matter you have previously reported to us, please check any related correspondence we have sent you. If this includes the direct dial number of the member of our staff dealing with the issue, you can hang up and call them directly to avoid waiting in the queue. We are sorry about your continued wait. We are receiving large volumes of calls and all of our staff are busy helping other customers. If you are calling to find out how to report a data protection concern, report nuisance calls, emails or text messages to us, or raise a complaint about a Freedom of Information Act request, you can do all of this on our website at www.ico.org.uk by clicking on Report a Concern. sorry about your continued wait. We are receiving large volumes of calls and all of our staff are busy helping other customers. You can find lots of guidance on our website, including detailed advice about making a subject access request and advice on how to access information from a public authority under the Freedom of Information Act. If you would prefer to hold, we will be with you as soon as we can. Sorry about your continued wait. We are receiving large volumes of calls and all of our staff are busy helping other customers. You can find lots of guidance on our website, including detailed advice about making a subject access request and advice on how to access information from a public authority under the Freedom of Information Act. If you would prefer to hold, we will be with you as soon as we can. Sorry about your continued wait. We are receiving large volumes of calls and all of our staff are busy helping other customers. You can find lots of guidance on our website, including detailed advice about making a subject access request and advice on how to access information from a public authority under the Freedom of Information Act. If you would prefer to hold, we will be with you as soon as we can. Sorry about your continued wait. We are receiving large volumes of calls and all of our staff are busy helping other customers. You can find lots of guidance on our website, including detailed advice about making a subject access request and advice on how to access information from a public authority under the Freedom of Information Act. If you would prefer to hold, we will be with you as soon as we can. sorry about your continued wait. We are receiving large volumes of calls and all of our staff are busy helping other customers. You can find lots of guidance on our website, including detailed advice about making a subject access request and advice on how to access information from a public authority under the Freedom of Information Act. If you would prefer to hold, we will be with you as soon as we can. Sorry about your continued wait. We are receiving large volumes of calls and all of our staff are busy helping other customers. You can find lots of guidance on our website, including detailed advice about making a subject access request and advice on how to access information from a public authority under the Freedom of Information Act. If you would prefer to hold, we will be with you as soon as we can. Sorry about your continued wait. We are receiving large volumes of calls and all of our staff are busy helping other customers. You can find lots of guidance on our website, including detailed advice about making a subject access request and advice on how to access information from a public authority under the Freedom of Information Act. If you would prefer to hold, we will be with you as soon as we can. Sorry about your continued wait. We are receiving large volumes of calls and all of our staff are busy helping other customers. You can find lots of guidance on our website, including detailed advice about making a subject access request and advice on how to access information from a public authority under the Freedom of Information Act. If you would prefer to hold, we will be with you as soon as we can. sorry about your continued wait. We are
15
receiving
minutes.
large volumes of calls, and all of our staff are busy helping other customers. You can find lots of guidance on our website, including detailed advice about making a subject access request and advice on how to access information from a public authority under the Freedom of Information Act. If you would prefer to hold, we will be with you as soon as we can.
So practically, the Information Commissioner, which should be an organization that helps you to have information and protect your right of information, so to be the first that doesn't give any information at all, that's making you having a long queue. Practically, the fact is that I made two requests to them. One is very recent. The other one is I made that on the 22nd of February. That is almost 3 months ago. So that's.
We are sorry about your continued wait. We are receiving large volumes of calls,
And they
and
don't
all of our
respond.
staff are busy helping
So
other
that's,
customers. You can find
really
lots of guidance on our
absurd.
website, including detailed advice about making a subject access request and advice on how to access information from a public authority under the Freedom of Information Act. If you would prefer to hold,
Anyway, I
we'll
will
be with you as soon
do
as we can.
later, when I finish the research, I will make a better video about whether we talk about the Freedom of Information Act and also about the Data Protection Act. So that because there are two different acts, which are of course very related. So anyway. I think I will stop if it doesn't answer in 2 minutes.
We are sorry about your continued wait. We are receiving large volumes of calls, and all of our staff are busy helping other customers. You can find lots of guidance on our website, including detailed advice about making a subject access request and advice on how to access information from a public authority under the Freedom of Information Act. If you would prefer to hold, we will be with you as soon as we can. Minutes waiting, and I think we'll close the call because they don't answer at all. We are sorry about your continued wait. We are receiving large volumes of calls, and all of our staff are busy helping other customers. You can find lots of guidance on our website, including detailed advice about making a subject access request and advice on how to access information from a public authority under the Freedom of Information Act. If you would prefer to hold, we will be with you as soon as we can.
No, basta così. That's finish. Okay. So practically they didn't answer after 20 minutes. I tried to call them. Nobody answered the phone. On an organization that should help you to ask information and that it should protect your right to information, they don't help anybody at all. That is, and practically this telephone number, it's a kind of is there for nothing. It's just because by the charter and by the they must have a telephone number. They say that there should be also live chat line on their website, but the chat doesn't work. So they practically, if you send a request to ask an inquiry about an organization, they don't respond at all. To me, I made two requests. One, of course, very recently, but the other one is I'm waiting almost 3 months. Nothing of nothing, no answer, nothing at all. You can't contact them. I will try to write another email, and I will try to write a back post, but I don't think they will answer, because that is their way of unless, I guess, you are a lawyer, then probably it would be different. I don't know. But private citizens, they don't answer at all. So, for all is all. For now it's all, and watch further videos. And as I told you, I'm conducting I made it to one to the police, and that is quite interesting. But they also they didn't answer all the questions, but yeah, they answered some very interesting questions about the police organization, their cost. That was a very, very interesting question. The other research I made, it's that about the funds that the university receive. I didn't ask on the university where I am now at Westminster, because of course it would be, they would ban me from the university otherwise. But yeah, okay. So that's all for now. Please subscribe to the channel if you like, comment, share, rate, and that is. And you will receive further. Another important thing, I'm planning to do some news videos, and so another way to support this channel is by funding. There is a PayPal account. There is a link for the PayPal account, so you can fund by that. Just send as much as you like. So as more as you receive is much better, because costs, internet costs and equipment, especially I need to buy new equipments and new camcorder, new camera, so that is. And plus there are some further things about, for example, camper. So practically in the summer, very likely I will travel on a camper van, and that would be a journey on a camper, and I will give an update on YouTube, and there would be a special website that I'm creating. So please support me and support People TV, and subscribe, etc. Share, tell to everybody.